Colin Powell was fully vaccinated and yet he died. And some of the questions I just want to use this opportunity to answer. Hi, this is Dr. Oteng from Dayspring Life and Health channel. The death of Colin Powell, the former U.S. Secretary of State, has shocked everybody because we all know he's somebody who was in good health. At least if you saw him on TV, you knew he wasn't that sick or anything like that. Albeit he is an elderly, 84 years old, and definitely must have something going on that we didn't know of. So he died of complications of COVID-19, and I made a short video just to remind people to get COVID vaccinations and protect themselves and others from getting sick. And right off, I got questions from a good friend of mine about the fact that Colin Powell was fully vaccinated and yet he died. And some of the questions, I just want to use this opportunity to answer those questions and hopefully clarify why we still need to get a vaccine, even though some people who got the vaccine may have died or may still die. So let's go through his questions and see if we can answer them, and I hope your questions would also be answered. So his first question is, but he was fully vaccinated. That's his question. And so I returned his test that yes, that's because 1 in 26,000 people who are fully vaccinated may still get COVID-19 and die of it. And then I also said, especially if you are over the age of 65 and or have comorbid conditions such as diabetes, cancer, or anything that already puts your immune system lower. Powell was battling multiple myeloma, a form of cancer, so his immune system was not that great in the first place. That is why it is encouraged that even if you are fully vaccinated, if you are going out in the public, since you don't know who is carrying the virus, it is always the best thing to do to wear your mask, just as another layer of protection. But that being said, people who are not vaccinated at all, people who are unvaccinated, they are 11 times more likely to die. If you point to the fact that Colin Powell was vaccinated and he died, he is 1 out of 26,000 people. He said both the vaccinated and unvaccinated spread the virus at almost the same rate. That's his statement. And I responded by saying, I'm pretty sure some of you have those questions. Right, but the vaccinated have lower viral loads and they don't get severe disease. So yes, it's true that people who are vaccinated may still get COVID virus, but they don't get as sick, and also they don't produce as much virus as somebody who has not been vaccinated. So in other words, they will spread the disease more, more potent disease spreaders than somebody who has been vaccinated. And then he asked another question, which I'm pretty sure you probably have. He said, how lower is the viral load of the vaccinated to the unvaccinated by percentage? To which question I said, unfortunately, I don't have that information. So I cannot tell you how much somebody who is vaccinated produces in terms of viral loads compared to the person who is not vaccinated, how much virus or the differences they do. It is obviously going to be less in somebody who is vaccinated because your immune system would definitely suppress the virus from producing as much copies as they would in somebody who has not been vaccinated, who has no knowledge, whose body has no knowledge of what they are dealing with. So it makes sense that way. Does this mean if your immune system is bad or heavily compromised, the vaccine can't save you? And if you have a strong immune system like an athlete, you will survive COVID without the vaccine, which all athletes have still today. No unvaccinated athlete has died of COVID, and with no hospitalizations. Not 100% sure, he says. All right, so basically his question is, does it mean that if your immune system is very bad, you don't get any help from the vaccine. And also, does it also mean that the people with very good immune systems, like young athletes who he said none has passed away because they are very healthy and stuff, does that mean they don't need a COVID vaccine? And my answer to that is no, they need the COVID vaccine. And the reason is that you cannot look on somebody's just physique, their muscles, and their young age and say that you must have a very great immune system, and for that reason you don't need a COVID vaccine. And some of the reason is that even sometimes with a very good immune system, you can still have a serious complication. Why? Because your immune system is so strong that it's acting beyond what it should do. It becomes itself an enemy of you because it's working overload. It's overworking. So the fact that your immune system is good does not necessarily mean that you're always going to survive. And the other thing is, you cannot tell whose immune system is great just by looking at their young age or by their face or by their physique. It's just the general understanding that the younger you are, the more likely your immune system is great. But there's no one thing for anybody to point to any one person that they have a good immune system just because of their young age, because they may have an underlying condition that may not have been diagnosed. What do you think people who have COVID natural immunity, should they be forced to take vaccine? Okay, so basically he is asking if people have COVID natural immunity, in other words, people that he thinks like maybe the athletes and stuff who think they have natural immunity, strong enough to be able to fight, should they still be forced to take the COVID vaccine? And my answer to him was nobody should be forced, and nobody is being forced, but systems are put in place to protect others. So the fact that you don't want to get the vaccine does not mean you should be allowed to infect others. So, right, you may be protected yourself, or you may be able to fight the disease by yourself, by your own immune system, if you know how your body is. But the point is, you can still get COVID and spread it. And so that is why there are mandates by employers and governments, institutions, to ensure that other people who cannot fight the disease, if they got it, are protected. So it's not just about you, it's also about the people who may get the disease from you and who may end up dying. So that is how we should look at it, where the mandates are coming from. Mandates are a form of forced vaccination because you have to choose between feeding your family and getting a vaccine, which is not right because your vaccination status doesn't impact your performance on the job, since we all have to wear a mask anyways at work. So that is his last response after I sent him that test. And I definitely disagree, but obviously he has a very great point that mandates shouldn't happen because you can still wear your mask, according to him. But the other thing that I would also say is that if masks were 100%, then there would be no need for vaccinations. Even vaccinations are not 100%. Vaccines are 95%. 95% of the people who get it will be protected. So there are still 5% of people who will not be covered by the vaccine. And so with that being said, and that's even with the most potent, most efficacious vaccines, there are some that are like 60-70% effective. So if you think about it, even though everybody may get a vaccine, if everybody gets a vaccine, there'll still be people who will not benefit from the vaccine. And for that matter, we cannot say that wearing masks is enough to protect people and stop people from getting the mandates. Because if masks were working enough, if masks were 100%, then there will be no need for vaccine. Just like vaccines are not 100%, we need to ensure that we are each other's keeper. That's the way I think about it. It's not just about you. If you have any real opposition to getting the vaccine, just ask yourself, would you rather infect somebody and get them sick and die just because they don't have the power to protect themselves? So if you think about it in terms of the third person or somebody else, and the scripture says that be your brother's keeper. Do unto others what you would like them to do unto you. Would you feel okay if you are not safe and somebody who could protect you says that because they can die or because they believe they won't die, they are rather going to infect themselves and infect you? because it's their body. Would you think that is a fair argument for you? Getting fully vaccinated will protect you. And that also leads me to encouraging folks that need to get the booster shots. The FDA has come out with approvals for the booster vaccines, boosters for Pfizer and the others that are coming on board. So if you have been fully vaccinated, for the 2-dose series of Pfizer, and you are over the age of 65, or you are a healthcare worker, or you are immunocompromised, which means you either have diabetes, you have or some uncontrolled asthma, you have a cancer or recovered from cancer, you have heart disease, you are obese, or all those people that I call immunocompromised, you should also get the booster just to be fully protected. Because the idea is that after some time, the immune system, the immunity that we got from the initial doses of the vaccine wanes. With age, the people who are older, their immune system gets slower again after some time. So within the 8 months or 7 months after your last dose, the immune system, your antibodies may have decreased. And if you have diseases that I've mentioned earlier, your antibodies may have also decreased. And it's better for you to get a booster, to get a revamp in your antibodies so that you can get better protected should you come across somebody or that has COVID, or should you come across the COVID virus again. So yes, getting vaccinated is still the way to go, even though our brother Colin Powell succumbed to COVID-19 even after being fully vaccinated. So yes, it is still the way to go. Vaccines are still good. Vaccine is still the way to go. Get yourself the shot, and if you are with somebody that needs the shot, help them get a shot, and let's protect ourselves and our loved ones. All right, that's where we put the video to an end. Thanks for watching, beloved. I wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers.